I've come up with a way to totally eradicate this whole idea of rejection in sales. If it's over at hello, how the heck are you going to succeed in selling? You've got to rise above that and change your mindset.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stump The Guru Show. My name is Ari Galper, and with trust-based selling, unlock the game. Hopefully, if you're a listener, been with us for a few years now, you know what the process is. This is a live opportunity for people to come on and jump in and ask me a tough sales question they might have or a challenge. And I do some live coaching on this session. This also goes to recording, which becomes our podcast. And it's a great way for people to listen in, get a sense of what we do, our approach, our thinking, our mindset. A lot of notes are taken. We hear a lot of great feedback from these recordings in terms of people applying new ideas. And look, I think, you know, in fact, I'm doing a webinar, which you can all join if you like. It's called How to Succeed in the Trust Recession. And I label the trust recession as a theme in general we're about to enter into. And I think in our society where trust is very low at multiple levels of our society, from government to institutions, even down to buyer and seller. And that's kind of my space. And we have lots of ideas about how to deal with that, how to succeed in this trust recession where you have buyers who are shopping you. Never used to be like that before. It used to always be you're the expert, and they would typically sign up with you. And so we see a lot more people who are chasing ghosts, following up with people, can't get a hold of the key decision makers, or even at a first meeting, they end up getting ghosted. And this is more and more happening out there because of this, what I call trust recession concept. And so if you don't have a copy of my booklet, my latest book, just go to arigalper.com or unlockthegame.com, grab a copy. That'll give you some insights. There's a free copy on the website you can grab and download. Not download, you can order it. We'll send it to you in the mail. And have a chat with us as well about your business and where you're at. And if you're struggling with this, with trying to convert opportunities coming your way because you're playing LinkedIn games or email tag and social media tag with people and not converting, then this is going to be your home for a while. So the theme from today is this idea of referrals. And a lot of folks I speak with have been dependent on referrals their whole career. That's how they grew their business. And it became almost an expected lead flow system where they'd expect referrals to keep coming in, keep growing the business. And they're seeing a decline. I don't know if you are, but there's a decline of referrals happening out there that I'm hearing from my clients. And I think that comes from the fact that we are now in a commoditized world. And you're probably in a commoditized industry, which means your referral sources have others they can refer to. And usually a referral source has only one person to refer to, not 20 or 5 or 6 or 4 or 3. So if you aren't the single source receiver from your referral source, then you have a very difficult time getting referrals. It's a very limited market for you. And they have to trust you and know you. It's a long, long game and very difficult to sustain. So you have to start thinking about different ways to create inbound demand that do not have a middleman involved. The referral model is a middleman. You have to get to his or her clients through him at his will or her will. I mean, you can't forecast your leads. You don't have any model to be able to have leads coming directly without a middle person. It's challenging with the decline. And if you don't have a system in place for that, then you have to think about how can you create an inbound model that targets your ideal clients, that they come directly to you and schedule a meeting with you without a middleman. And we did a lot of work around that called Trust Authority. And if you want to learn more about that, then just grab our book at unlockthegame.com, schedule a chat with us. We'll talk to you more about that model and system, which you don't advertise anywhere, but we use for ourselves. And we teach that to our high-end clients who want to get less dependent on referral sources and feed themselves without a middleman. So if that intrigues you, reach out and we'll talk soon. On that note, let's get started with the show. We have a few folks back there waiting to jump in and ask a question. So Steve, who do we have up there first?
All righty, you got lucky. Like I told you, my gold sequin jacket went missing in my workshop. So I'm going to bring Ron on, who also doesn't have a gold sequin jacket. Hey, Ron, how are you?
Hey, guys, how are you guys? Can you guys hear me okay?
Aces, man. If you could tell Ari a little bit about yourself and your business and your question, that would be fantastic.
So I'm a financial advisor. I've been in the business for 30 years, actually. I'm currently at a conference. That's why I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. I am
Sure.
poolside, but I really wanted to come and connect with you guys. I've been working with Ari for almost about 9 months now, and it's been really good. Eye opener. I do have a good scenario, Ari, that
Sure.
I've been wanting to bring up.
Yeah.
So I have a current client that that went through a first meeting with me. I actually walked them through my roadmap. They actually paid me and hired me to do some work for them. They came in meeting number 2, so they already paid for the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I did the work, showed them strategies, and then at the end of meeting 2, they said, "Ron, really appreciate your work and your time, but just to let you know, we're also talking to other advisors." So from there, I really wanted to learn the languaging and how to better handle a situation like that, Ari.
I had this exact scenario with another advisor yesterday. I swear he told it was like your words out of his mouth. He said the same thing. He gets them all the way to phase 3, the plan, then they want to go think about it.
Correct.
And so I analyzed it with him and we figured out what the problem was. I said, do me a favor, show me your plan that you walked them through. So he did share screen, showed me his plan. It was like pages of charts, numbers, graphs, document. It was like a long, I don't know what yours is, but it was quite comprehensive.
Yeah.
And a bit complex. And from his perspective, it's not complex. It's just what he does. But we went through it together and we figured out that all they want to know was, because in this scenario was for retirement. They want to know if they're running out of money or not. So we realized there's only one slide that showed specifically a timeline of their age over time and how different layers of investments will give them a margin of safety to protect them over time and give it enough income. But the other slides were all a bunch of different ancillary information about context and investments and ideas. And I helped them realize that all they want to know is, can they live comfortably over the next 30 whatever years they're going to plan on? And all they want to see is, all they need is that one chart. Now you can take the other stuff as ancillary and give it to them as well to study later if they want. But the problem is, if you give them too much information they don't need to know, that creates complexity. They got to go think about it. And the irony of all this is they have to go to another expert to explain to them the simplicity they wanted from you. So what I'm trying to say here is, I have a funny feeling the way to solve this problem is not them not trusting you. It's probably the complexity of your process for how you explain the plan to them. So all I'm suggesting to you is this. How many pages is your plan, by the way?
Well, I go through, with this particular group, I went through 3 different strategies, and the strategies are, they're in depth. You're right. One's to solve income, one's to solve long-term care. Maybe you're right. I am maybe presenting too many solutions.
Yes, that's it. When you create too many complex options, the brain says, I can't decide this. I'm not qualified to make this decision. What if I make a mistake? See, it wasn't them not trusting you, but it was too complex for a non-expert to decide what to do. So now they got to go to someone else.
Or too many, right? Or maybe too many at once.
Yeah. So think about how to consolidate, compress what your solution is, or the multiple solutions, into one visual way to say, here's the plan of how to protect yourself in different ways, health-wise, income-wise, value-wise, and it's all here. Here's how it connects together. As opposed to options, just give them what you recommend as the best plan, one option. You're the expert, you're the doctor. Recommend the medicine to them that's best for them. If they don't like it, you can give an option secondly as a backup, but don't give too many choices. So I'll leave you with that, Ron, to think about.
Well, so Ari, one last question is that, so if I'm showing them a solution for, guaranteed income, and then I'm also showing them a solution for, solving long-term care, should I not go in depth on those? So I just pick one and just focus on that?
Well, no, I'm fine using all 3 of those, but if you can somehow create almost like a graph that shows their age and time and how each of those layers add a layer of protection. Like I'm visualizing in my mind like this visual chart that shows their age at the bottom on the axis, and then this line going up showing the protection of their health and wealth, and then kind of having a color section showing this is the wealth layer, this is the income layer, just some way to capture it in one visual view. It'll make it easier for them to understand it and easier for them to make the decision to do it. I know it's not what, because you're probably giving it to them in pieces right now. You're saying,
Correct.
here's this, here's this, here's this. That's too complex for the average person to understand, not even understand, but to make a decision on. So when we talk again, let's look at what you're doing. Let's figure out a way to make it simple, because the answer to the trust recession is simplification with your market. All right, Ron?
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ari.
Good to see you again. Take care, man.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. We're back to the Stump the Guru show. And as you see, I'm sharing some insights from client work that I'm doing. I'm on the ground every day talking to new folks, advisors, consultants, entrepreneurs, business owners with sales teams who are struggling to get traction in this market. And there's a lot of high concepts that I shared with Ron a few minutes ago around simplification, around consolidation of ideas, around the fact that the market you're going to is not an expert like you are. They don't think like you. You have to convert your thinking to a simplified form so they can make easier decisions to hire you. So anyway, Steve, who else we got by there?
All righty, I'm going to bring on next Derek. So, hey, Derek, how are you today?
Good, Steve. How are you? Hey, Ari.
Hey, Derek. Welcome.
Just for the audience, no. So I'm an enterprise account rep in the environmental health and safety space. So I think I'm just going to piggyback off of Ron, how we're on the theme of sales process. So I got two questions for you. So one, in enterprise sales, one of the things we often stress is about executive alignment, because as soon as like you can bring in a VP on your end, talks to the VP, it can accelerate the sales cycle because they feel like they're more of a trusted authority, and the VP is just like talking to VPs. So one of the things we often bring up early, like in the discovery stage, one of the first calls is we'll say something we would like to, our executive to be a part of these conversations going forward as a sign of how important it is to win your business and become your partner. And oftentimes we'll get resistance and say, these stakeholders that we're talking to will say, well, they don't need to be part of the process right now. And I'm wondering if there's any, I guess, more of language that doesn't cause as much resistance as to, how important it would be for them to align with our executives.
Sure.
Our executives.
First of all, I would say eliminate this from your vocabulary today and never use it again. Here's the phrase, okay?
Okay.
Win your business.
Yeah, it's
Don't
pressure.
use that. That's sales 101. You're not there to win their business. You're there to solve their problem.
Right.
Okay, so we got to get out of solution mode, out of sales mode, Derek, bring it back to the mindset and get you focused on you are a problem solver. Your solution solves a problem for them.
Right.
So your languaging has to be about us wanting to work with you to solve the issue that you have. That's causing a hole in your business, that's causing you to lose money, that's causing risk to your people, all those issues. And so that's a language shift you got to think about. And then the languaging to bring in the other people early on. First of all, the only reason why they're not bringing the high-level people in early on is probably why. What are they afraid you might do if they bring somebody in at the high level? What do they think you might do?
Try to sell them, put pressure on them.
Of course, they don't trust you, Derek.
Right.
You're not trustworthy. Of course, you're trustworthy, but they don't trust you. Something in your process didn't make them feel comfortable letting you in with everybody else. They're holding you at the gates because they're afraid. And I think it comes from the languaging you just used. You're going to kind of do a presentation and make a sales pitch to them. So what you can do is try and shift things around and say, would you be open to having other folks on your team or at the higher level be involved with the process? And I can promise you this, there'll be no selling on our part and no pitching from us at all. We'll only be doing a consultative process. We'll be really diagnosing, identifying, and building a business case. That's the key phrase you use. Building a business case for making it make sense to potentially work with you to solve this problem. Would you guys be open to that? Because we love feedback at all levels, because there's a lot of information we can get from different folks. But we were not going to make the assumption at all that we're going to work with you until we first build the case first. So something around that notion, where you're not there to make the sale. You're not there to make the pitch or win their business. You're there to really get a clear insight view of the totality of the issue, what the impact of it, the cost of inaction is, what's it cost them to have that problem, what's the risk involved with that, and obviously prioritize this as an important project. You have to know all that. And that's got to be kind of your ethos and your approach to them when you meet with these people, is you're not like anybody else. And they're going to hire you in many cases, Derek, not based upon your solution as a first priority, but based upon, believe it or not, your approach. That's the strangest thing, is we think to ourselves, we have a great product. We can help these people. Can't they see it? It's so good. It's perfect. But they're not looking over here where you're looking. You see? They're looking at you going, can I trust this guy? He everything he does, his emails, his way he writes stuff, he sounds like he's a sales rep. I don't think I'm comfortable here. I'm putting my guard up. So I'm just letting you know, these are all little signals that can occur by the way we communicate with people, where they feel like they can't put us on their side of the fence. And right now, it sounds like they're keeping you at a distance.
Right. No, that's great, Ari. I appreciate that. My second question, again, on the theme of the sales process is, so what I've done is, based upon the one call sale, is bring up our actual sales process on the initial call.
Okay.
And it's visual. It's a one pager, very simple, and ask them, what do they think? Sometimes I'll get a response and they'll say, sounds great. This is, we can go with this. The other times they'll go, I'm looking at this. There's a couple of steps missing. We want to do a proof of concept. We got to do a workshop here. And so they start adding steps to, I guess, prolong the sales process. So, there's two flip sides to the coin. One, it's good that they're engaging, they're collaborating. But the second part is that all of a sudden now they're trying to wrestle back control, and they're trying to complicate the sales process to add steps. So I don't know how you respond to that in a way where it's not to become defensive.
Well, that's more of a negotiation.
Okay.
Where if your framework that you're providing them, you believe is to their benefit, because it's most beneficial, then you make a case for that. If the guy says to you, we'd like to add these 2 steps in, what you need to understand is why. Why do you feel like you need to do that? I'm just curious. Because there must be something that you don't know, which is a great learning lesson to you, to understand what's missing in your roadmap that does not match to their thinking.
Yeah.
So usually when we do a roadmap for our clients, when we do a visual tool, we figured out in advance that the roadmap pretty much is unquestionable, because it just makes sense. But it sounds like there's something that your client or prospects are seeing that doesn't 100% jive quite yet in their mind. I don't know what it is, but you need to find out what's the thinking behind why they want to add something, so you can streamline everything to put it in place so it's bulletproof next time.
I think it differs from client to client, and sometimes why they add the additional steps, because they feel there's a low level of trust, between the vendors. And so they often will add these steps as to kind of mitigate their risk, because, they'll go, we're just not sure. All your platforms kind of look the same. So all sorts of reasons like that. So now they're trying to, again, put us in that commodity box. So,
right. They're trying to force you into a commoditized process, which means something before the roadmap, they're not trusting you enough for you to go with your process. You see, that's the problem. They're forcing you into a competing process, apples to apples.
Right.
Something's going on with your process earlier on, where they're pigeonholing you as one of the many reps out there, platforms. So we just have to dissect more about this. But next time around, come on back. We'll talk more about that, okay?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ari.
All right, Derek, take care.
You too.
All right. So we are back to Stump The Guru show. Actually, almost close top of the half an hour here. So I spent a little extra time with the folks, but hopefully you've all taken some great notes, got some good ideas. Again, we are in the trust recession right now, especially at the sales and marketing level. And if you're finding yourself chasing opportunities you cannot convert, long sales cycles that are dragging your performance down, then we have a way to compress that model into a tighter time frame in a simplified way that is not new sales skills, it's new thinking. And that's what's needed right now to overcome the resistance out there in the marketplace. So if you don't have my latest books, go to unlockthegame.com, grab a copy, immediately schedule a chat with us, or there should be a page on the website for a webinar coming up. You can join as well. A lot of new opportunities coming on board now that we're launching. So stay close to us, go to our website, and hopefully you enjoyed today, and we'll talk soon. Signing off for now.
I've come up with a way to totally eradicate this whole idea of rejection in sales. If it's over at hello, how the heck are you going to succeed in selling? You've got to rise above that and change your mindset.